It's the first Sunday of the month. Hello, I am Beverly Broom with today's Joy Newsroom. Our headlines this afternoon: management of Akenteng Dapaah Menka University of Skills and Training and Entrepreneurial Development in Kumasi to investigate circumstances leading to the death of a student whose body caught fire during a hall procession at school. And the Nigerian community in Ghana is asking for justice, change, and a brighter future for their homeland, Niger. Details of these, including a live update from the minister's press briefing in this bulletin. Now, management of Akenteng Dapaah Menka University of Skills Training and Entrepreneurial Development in Kumasi has launched investigations into circumstances leading to the death of a student whose body caught fire during a hall procession at school. Prosper Wusu, believed to be in his mid-20s, is reported to have died at the Okonfa-Nortje Teaching Hospital after sustaining severe wounds from the fire incident. He's said to have been the chief priest of the Opokuwari Hall at the university, who usually led traditional rites of the hall. In a video shared on social media, the deceased was seen leading rituals of the hall by a fireside together with other hall members, during which his clothes caught fire. Emmanuel Bright-Kweku joins us via Zoom for more details on this story. Emmanuel, what else can you report?
All right, so Beverly, what we understand is that the incident occurred on August 25th. That was last week, Friday, when some members of the Opokuwari Hall embarked on a procession, a traditional hall procession. So normally they would, during these times, they would conduct themselves, meet up and then line up in front of the campus and then do whatever rituals they would want to do. So this person, Prosper Wusu, we understand, was the chief priest for Opokuwari Hall. So he was leading this particular procession around a fireside when his cloth, the cloth he was wearing, caught fire, and then his entire body began also to be on fire. In the video, if you would see, he's trying to run around. We understand he was trying to run around to get some help, an immediate source of water or even an extinguisher to douse the fire. But unfortunately, he couldn't find any on the premises. So he was quickly rushed to the Okonfa-Nortje Teaching Hospital, where he said to have sustained some severe injuries to the mid and upper body. Some friends, we are told, tried soliciting funds to support him whilst he was at the hospital. But unfortunately, he couldn't make it. They couldn't get enough to support him. So he died yesterday at the Okonfa-Nortje Hospital. So that's nearly a week after the incident happened. So far, we've had the management of the university indicating that investigations are currently being conducted to ascertain the truth or circumstances that led to this particular fire incident on campus. They are, however, also cautioning the students on campus to desist from any actions or anything that might predispose them to the risks of danger or anything at all. So currently, that's the situation here in Kumasi, and that's the response from the management of the Akenteng Dapaah Menka University of Skills Training and Entrepreneurial Development. Beverly.
Right, Emmanuel Bright-Kweku, thank you so much for your time. Now, the Nigerian community in Ghana is asking for justice, change, and a brighter future for their homeland, Niger. They want the economic community of West African states to treat them fairly. Mohammed Nuruddin has the story.
La patrie ou la mort. La patrie ou la mort. La patrie ou la mort.
The Nigerian diaspora is raising its voice in unity and strength. They want justice for the people of Niger, and they are demanding change. In a powerful display of solidarity, members of the Nigerian community in Ghana have come together with a resounding call for justice and progress in the homeland. Abdurrahim Harun speaks for the community.
We, the Nigerians living in Kumasi, in Ghana as a whole, are affirming our support to the new government, for that matter, the military.
They are demanding the prosecution of the overthrown government and officials under President Mohamed Bazoum. The community also insists on the complete withdrawal of the French army from Niger and the suspension of any contracts between the French government and Niger.
We are demanding the immediate withdrawal of the French army and the prosecution of the members of the post-government. The suspension of any contract between the Republic of France and our dear country Niger. We are urging His Excellency General Tiani and his Prime Minister Honorable Lamine Zain to look for new partners that can help us develop our country.
They argued that under President Mohamed Bazoum, some crucial services were not provided, particularly security, especially for those in rural areas who face threats from suspected terrorist groups.
The previous government is not supporting the citizens. If you go to villages around the Niger, jihadist people go there, kidnap them, kill them. The government does it, intervene in the process. So this could not happen. We the citizens are very happy about it. In the sense that we want the new government to come out with its new crew. But we have its share in the country.
They also raised concerns about the regional body ECOWAS, accusing it of treating them unfairly.
ECOWAS is not being fair to us at all, in the sense that if you look at what has happened previously, what I said earlier, the jihadist people and the Boko Haram people have been going to villages, killing people, snatching their animals, and all sorts of things. Previous government doesn't show any concern about that. So this coup that has happened, the new military that has intervening, we are urging and we are giving his support to form his cabinet so that everything will be stable in our country, so that everybody will have his cake.
A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
Now, Director of Diaspora Affairs at the Office of the President, Akwesi Iwuabebio, says government is committed to creating sustainable jobs and prosperity for all Ghanaians. He spoke at the 2023 Ghana Corporate Brands Awards Night in Accra, where 49 corporate brands, including 5 state institutions, were recognized for their contributions to government's digitalization agenda.
Held under the theme Digitizing Horizons, celebrating Ghana's corporate brands and charting a path to technological excellence, 49 corporate brands, including Ghana Post, Volto River Authority, Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, and the Greater Accra Regional Hospital received recognitions for their innovative use of technology in support of the government economic transformation agenda. Speaking at the awards, the Director of Diaspora Affairs at the Office of the President, Akwesi Iwuabebio, stated that recognizing the contributions of these brands is a part of the government agenda to create sustainable jobs through the use of technology.
Initiatives such as the One District, One Country initiative underscore our commitment to job creation and prosperity. Innovations such as the e-business registration system, paperless port clearance system, digital addressing systems, mobile interoperability systems, and the national identification system collectively serve to reduce the cost of conducting business within our nation, amplify operational efficiency. These initiatives encapsulate the essence of our drive to unleash the entrepreneurial favor of our nation's business community, catalyzing their potential to galvanize job creation and economic vibrancy. It is imperative that these initiatives, like the Ghana Corporate Brand Award, are endorsed by the government as they seamlessly align with our industrial transformation agenda.
Delivering the keynote address, Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Nana Abampiamfo, mentioned that in alignment with the government initiatives, the University of Ghana is fostering an innovative culture driven by technology.
I'm particularly intrigued about the theme for this occasion because we are also championing the cause of technology at the University of Ghana. As a leading university in nurturing exceptional corporate professionals, the University of Ghana, under my leadership, has championed some strategic objectives with a vision to create a culture that promotes research, teaching and learning, administrative processes and extension activities driven by technology and anchored in humanism. And towards that direction, various initiatives are being pursued to enhance stakeholder experience through digitalization. And the approach is anchored on three-pronged technology-driven initiatives, which was actually launched last year in April. It was a $7 million project, which includes modernizing our classrooms, one student, one laptop, and hotspot comfort zone.
The Chief Executive Officer of Maven Communications, organizers of the awards, Seth Danso Asante, explained the rationale behind the awards.
After COVID, we realized that most organizations had their staffs working from home. Most organizations also jumped onto technology, and companies that utilize the technological space did marvelously well and also saw improvements from workers that were working away from the office. They saw a lot of improvements in their productivity.
While the government is poised to build a biometric national identity register, deploy a digital property addressing system, and implement a paperless port system, corporate brands are equally not leaving any stone unturned into tapping these opportunities to ultimately transform the country's economy. Carlos Caloni's reports for Joy News.
Now, Member of Parliament for Boku Central, Mahama Ayariga, is asking the Attorney General to quicken the prosecution of Chief Executive Officer of defunct gold dealership firm, Men's Gold Ghana Limited, Anapia Mensah. He says the AG has not demonstrated seriousness in dealing with a matter that ought to be treated with urgency and seriousness. He's been speaking on news analysis program, Newsfile.
You have a constitution that says that the Attorney General and Minister of Justice shall be responsible for initiation and prosecution, and that all criminal prosecutions must be done in his name. And this is an Attorney General that is taking 3 years, not 2 months, not 1 year, not 2, 3 years to decipher what are the appropriate charges to prefer against Nana Mensah.
No, there are 61 charges already.
But they just dropped and changed to 39.
That's right.
Is that not it?
Yes.
So it means that it has taken them 3 years to figure out that the 61 were wrong and that it is this 39 that should be the proper charges. And it's taken them 3 years to figure out that they had filed the matter in the wrong court and that it is the High Court, that is the proper court. What other evidence of incompetence?
Because you add money laundering charges. Money laundering charges will have to go to the High Court rather than the Circuit Court. So that's
and it's taken 3 years.
Twist.
It's taken 3 years for the Attorney General of Ghana and the Minister of Justice to figure out that for a money laundering charge, you should go to the High Court, or that this fact, which clearly shows money laundering from the very beginning, it is only after 3 years that the Attorney General of Ghana is getting to know that he should add money laundering charges, and therefore he should go to the High Court.
Prosecutors amend charges all the time, but what's the new answer?
And it is taking 3 years, 3 good years. We are talking about the fate of 16,000 Ghanaians.
Almost 40 adjournments.
Whose tax money is what is used to buy the luxury car that the Attorney General is driving, and the comfortable office, and his luxurious travel expenses at the cost of the taxpayer. And these taxpayers have been defrauded by NAM1, and it's taken 3 years for this very competent Attorney General.
These are taxpayers who were warned and they ignored the warnings. Even at times when the state intervened, they were rather with the man against the state.
That is even worse, because the state sat by, the Bank of Ghana, the police, the security services, the Attorney General, everybody sat idly by and allowed this man to defraud citizens. Even if the people giving the money were participating in the conduct, they were also committing a criminal offense, and the state had a responsibility to stop them.
Mahama Ayariga is also berating the Office of the Special Prosecutor for not complying fully with its acts in applying to the court for the confirmation of the seizure and freezing of the accounts of the former Minister for Water Resources and Sanitation, Cecilia Dapaah.
I have read the press release of the Special Prosecutor. And I want to say that we are not small children. Read his statement. What does he say in paragraph 3? While the Office of Special Prosecutor respects the court's decision, it disagrees with the decision of the court. First, the OSP believes that the court's computation of the time limitation is, with respect, erroneous. That's actually the most critical paragraph in this statement. The OSP searched 3 private residences associated with Ms. Dapaah over the course of 2 weeks. The searches and discovery were ongoing during that period. There is little doubt that the OSP filed its application within the statutory window once the search and discovery window is considered. You see, I am not a fan of Cecilia Dapaah. I don't think what she has done is right. We're not talking about how many properties you searched, whether you said 3, 4, 5, whatever. Whether it took you 1 year to do your searches, it doesn't matter. The specific date that you seized this particular item, that is the date we are supposed to start counting from. After 7 days, if you haven't gone to court to confirm it, you have breached section 32 of your own act. So he shouldn't try to throw dust into our eyes. If you are negligent, admit that you are negligent. If you haven't performed your task as expected of you, admit that you have not performed your task. The judges are there to protect the rights of everybody, just as to also ensure that you exercise your powers properly. So did the special prosecutor run to court within 7 days of seizing the property or not? That's the crucial question that has to be answered by the special prosecutor. If he did not, why didn't he? In the face of 32(2), which clearly says that for him to continue to hold that asset, he must go and have it confirmed by a court. If he didn't go, he can't come and be throwing dust into our eyes.
Now, First National Vice President of the Medical Laboratory Professional Workers Union, Dr. Franklin Amate-Ama, is worried about attempts by some colleagues in the medical space to redefine some bodies in the professions by downgrading them in order to take up managerial roles of those associations. Dr. Ama warns his association will strike if government does not address their concerns. Rafiq Salam reports.
Speaking on the margins of a groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of a multi-purpose office complex for the Medical Laboratory Workers Union, MELPU, First National Vice President of MELPU, MLS, Dr. Franklin Amate-Ama, expressed worry over what he called deliberate attempt by their opposite members in the medical profession to redefine professional bodies that have been created by law.
At this day and age, you see people trying to encroach and cross the professional barriers that have been created by law. We are not oblivious of the machinations by medical doctors to redefine what we practice as medical laboratory science using the semantics of nomenclature. As we speak, of course, when we started, just technician orders, but today we have specialist professors in our rank and file. And so what we practice uniquely as medical laboratory professionals, we have capacity to develop same. Now, to submit same in forms of scholarship to train medical doctors you could have trained as gynecologists, their space is wide, neurosurgeon, to say that they are training them again as medical laboratory specialists just by redefining something is not in the interest of the Ghanaian. We have identified the laboratory space as a gold mine, and those who are seeking to come in do not have the service at heart. They are only targeting the gold mine, the money aspect, the managerial aspect of our work. And it is malicious to think that we can practice on the bench, but we do not have managerial capabilities to lead and manage ourselves.
MLS Dr. Franklin Mati-Ama sounded the alarm bells of Melpu embarking on industrial strike if they are not brought to the negotiation table.
So let me send this signal to those at the helm of affairs at Parliament that the malicious amendment that people are seeking and trying to smuggle in by redefining the medical laboratory space is not in the interest of the Ghanaian. And to arrest or to avert any labor unrest, it is proper that we are brought to the table so that we can find a common ground in the interest of the Ghanaian.
A view equally shared by General Secretary of Melpu, MLS, Cephas Kofi Akoto, and explain further.
As a profession that existed in this country for over 50 years, we have no condition of service. And we have submitted a proposal since December last year to date. Negotiation has never taken place. And even it took the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission a very long time to sign rules of engagement. You had a lot of demands that when you submit a proposal, within 14 days, there should be engagement. We have submitted a proposal from December, followed up to now. No negotiation has begun. So this is a warning or a signal to the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission to take note that heat is building up within the rank and file of our profession. And if nothing is done immediately to engage the union, we can let them take the law into their hands.
Turning to the construction of the multi-purpose regional office secretariat, APA was regional chairman of Melpu, MLS, Boniface M.K. Zoyeri, expressed satisfaction over the feat achieved by the union since its formation almost 3 years ago.
In fact, we are still left with some months to be 3 years, and yet we have grown mature enough to build a secretariat. You can be anything, but if you don't have a house which you turn a home from where you come from, you are always a stranger in your own land. And so we think that having a secretariat is not just only going to benefit laboratory professionals, but to benefit the community as well, the region and the nation at large.
The 1.5 acre land for the construction of the regional secretariat was bought by the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists, GAMS, and ceded to Melpu. MLS, Gamili Ajiraku Emmanuel, is the upper chairman of GAMS.
Let me see the opportunity to also applaud the effort of all individuals who have invested time and energy as well as resources to ensure that this project see the light of day. We pledge our solemn commitment to ensure that the project is completed in due course, marshalling the little effort our muscle will provide.
Our regional laboratory scientist, MLS, Dr. Tony Basana, commanded laboratory scientists in the region for the key role they play in the lives of the people.
All scientists in Upper West region, be proud, be sincere, be grateful that the work you do, we can't use words to describe them. So on behalf of leadership, I say, God bless you.
Reporting for J News, Graphic Salam, Low.
Now, majority of health professionals in Ghana are failing to conduct regular recalibration of medical equipment for quality healthcare delivery. Public health experts argue the non-compliance to the standard practice of fixing uncertainties in medical devices frequently could be contributing to false diagnosis of diseases. The concern was expressed at a workshop on health industry and regulatory affairs by the MasterCard Foundation in Kumasi. Here's more in this report.
MasterCard Foundation, in partnership with the School of Public Health, KNUST, is organizing a week-long event on healthcare industry and regulatory affairs. The workshop targets researchers and practitioners from varied sectors of the health industry. Speaking at the event, a lecturer at the School of Public Health, KNUST, Dr. Kofi Akonhene-Mensah, observed some challenges in the regulation of the pharmaceutical industry and the use of medical equipment. He highlighted some practices by health professionals contributing to false diagnosis of diseases.
Most people, healthcare professionals, they are not even aware that for calibration of devices, we need to calibrate your devices regularly. Most of the times, we buy BP apparatus, we buy thermometers, we just start using them without any calibration. And sometimes, even once we do the initial calibration, instead of doing as often as possible, normally we don't do this calibration. So only God knows how many people have diagnosed them as being hypertensive when they are not hypertensive, all because of issues surrounding these medical devices. And that is why you want to walk them through all these medical devices in terms of calibrations and other things. So in this case, we can build their capacity. So once they go back to their workplaces, you'll be certain that they are actually applying the knowledge they acquired and they're actually going to do the right thing in order to improve on healthcare delivery at the primary healthcare level.
With the emergence of advanced technology, including artificial intelligence, Professor Anthony Kweku Edusei, a facilitator for the coursework, believes the training would abreast participants of current digital health practices.
There are some people here, there are medical doctors here, there are physician assistants here, there are midwives here. So if you are talking about technology and they get to know some in the area of health, delivery, for instance, for the midwife who is here and may not know about certain technologies or devices that facilitate delivery. She will get to know, and when she goes back, she will maybe request for some of those devices or listen to be procured for her use in the hospital, and it can reduce maternal mortality.
The workshop brought together 30 participants from across the country who are positive of grasping concepts in the coursework for application.
I'm a student in public health, and there are a lot of research going on, but then it isn't applied. And there are also gaps that can be filled or that can be addressed when research is done when it comes to these things. So taking this short course, I want to collaborate with others, the others who have come here. We are all from diverse backgrounds, so collaborate with them to do more research to aid us in filling those gaps in the industry.
What my expectations are is to gain knowledge with regard to the regulation of these devices, how they are being used, how they are being procured, and how it affects or benefits the overall health system.
For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Akwesi Agyeman, says despite the hospitality sector's continued vibrancy, post-COVID challenges persist. He affirms that the GTA is complementing measures to ensure strict adherence to regulations and standards to boost the sub-sector. There's more in the following report.
2 out of every 10 jobs in the country are created by the hospitality subsector, making it the third largest contributor to Ghana's total productivity, as measured by the gross domestic product GDP in 2022. This ranking follows cocoa, oil, and gas. However, speaking to journalists at the 8th anniversary celebration of the Tank Palace Hotel in Accra, the Ghana Tourism Authority, Akwesi Agyeman, revealed that low hotel occupancy and regulatory inconsistencies remain a challenge.
Hotel occupancy is still a bit low for most operators, and that is a challenge. There are a lot of regulatory bodies that deal with the sector, and that is also a bit of a challenge. So if you look at a typical hotel, you have the Tourism Authority, EPA, Food and Drugs Authority, GAMRO, so many other agencies, the assemblies, everybody coming for their pound of flesh. And sometimes that creates a little bit of challenge for operators. It's not just about the number of levies and fees that they pay, but also the fact that so many people are coming to them to regulate. And so that is also an issue. And so we've been working with them. We've been working with the Association of Hotels, the Ghana Hotels Association, the Progressive Hotels Association, on how we can address some of these challenges. One of them is how we can harmonize the regulatory environment for them.
Mr. Ajiman further states that to enhance standards in the sector, the GTA is implementing various measures, including mystery shopping.
A combination of things that we are trying to do to improve standards. Just about 2 years ago, we launched the service charter, which seeks to regulate the sector properly. We do service assessment. Unfortunately, because we announce our service assessment periods, when a hotel knows that the service assessors are coming, they all try to make sure that they put up a clean face and a good face for the period. And so what we are planning to do is to do a lot more mystery shopping, get our inspectors to go unannounced to some of these facilities, and also to educate them. And so education is one of the things that we are also doing. Currently, we have embarked on some training programs. Currently, we're running one for front desk people on how they can really be hospitable when they are meeting guests. We're also doing some language training on Francophone.
Meanwhile, the general manager of Tang Palace Hotel, Sajid Khan, expresses optimism about the sector's future, despite the challenges posed by COVID-19.
These last 8 years were bad because of almost 3 years to 5 years were affected because of COVID. But we are seeing a very bright future for the tourism and for hospitality industry in coming 8 years. Despite all these issues, what challenges we are facing, at least within 8 years, you will see 8 new branded hotels will be coming in. And I see this competition very positively.
Miss Tourism Ghana 2022, Christobel Inshira Ejapon, urges graduates to explore opportunities in the sector as a means to address the high levels of graduate unemployment in the country.
Tourism has a lot of aspects. So it's not just about traveling. You have like sports, we have food, we have beads, we have a whole lot. So it's just ideal that the youth, people who are unemployed, you have your degrees, you find hand skills, you look at these different aspects when it comes to tourism. If you think you are very good at cooking, do something when it comes to food tourism. If you think you have the hospitality, venture into hoteliers and serving people. So it's just how you have to look at your own skills and then look at the opportunities, little opportunities around. That is where I think your money is going to come from.
As the third quarter of this year draws to a close, it is expected that more co-working spaces would be provided for enhanced and comforting experience for guests. Carlos Scaloni's reports for Joy News.
Now, the challenges posed by climate change and decreasing arable lands have inspired the need for the use of sustainable machinery to increase farming efficiency and productivity. In the fourth edition of the Energy Commission Senior High Schools Renewable Energy Challenge, Sugakope SHS and Kwabre SHS won the northern and southern zones respectively for their inventions to improve sustainable agricultural practices. They progressed to the national challenge with 4 more schools later in October. Clinton Yaboah has more in the following report.
The Senior High Schools Renewable Energy Resources Challenge is under the Energy Commission's mandate to promote the use of renewable energy. The challenge aims to develop the research skills of senior high school students and promote technological innovation in renewable energy and energy efficiency. The challenge aims to promote the efficient use of renewable energy resources through public education, training and regulation of entrepreneurs in the sector. The 14th edition was themed Mechanized Small-Scale Agriculture Using Renewable Energy Technologies. Sugakope SHS beat 7 schools with their invention of a multi-purpose farm vehicle for sowing, harrowing and spraying to win the Southern Zone competition. Kwabre SHS, with their invention of solar-powered mechanized knapsack sprayer, also beat 7 schools to win the Northern Zone competition.
Families today, everyone complaining about using the cutlass and then the hoe. So we are trying to mechanize all these things so that we bring their interest into the sector. That is why we develop our 5-in-1 mechanized agriculture. Therefore, with this machine, we just press the button and something happens in the farm. So there's no manual work with our machine. So you just relax and then operate. When look at the small scale as compared to the commercial agriculture, the large scale agriculture, you said as small scale, mostly they depend on nasal sprayer or the manual sprayer, which easily have so many effects on the operator's back. So our team sat down now, we use renewable energy technology that we can mechanize that nasal sprayer for it to operate on the farm, to make farm timeless and also easy for the operator to operate.
Ashanti Regional Director of Education, Williams Amankra, is pleased the challenge will help improve the agricultural activities of the country.
Since when did we get cocoa? How many years now? Over 100 years. The old system from the tree to bagging of the cocoa. One of the problems that we have is post harvest loss. Babadie, we know Babadie, Chupo. It won't take us anywhere. The little thing that they learn, let us domesticate it. Let us use our hand in producing them. Now I've seen mechanized agriculture small scale there. It's a nice program. Please let us give it the noise that it deserves.
Director of Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency at the Energy Commission, Dr. Kofi Ejako, says the schools will be supported to patent their technologies for commercialization.
The Energy Commission will take the additional steps of ensuring that the school will also have the patent right to that technology. Yes, because once we succeed in bringing those projects to commercial status and is able to catch the market, the end results will be revenue. We want to make impact, change the landscape of the senior high schools when it comes to revenue mobilization.
Sugakope SHS, Yasantua Girls SHS, and Infansepim SHS from the Southern Zone will join Kwabre SHS, Toma SHS, and Sewa Kese Girls SHS from the Northern at the grand finale of the challenge in October. From the 16th regions, 125 schools participated in the Renewable Energy Challenge. Reporting for Joy News, Clinton Yeboah.
Now, Chief Executive Officer of Cherryfield Montessori School, Magdalene Jifa Adzanu, is worried that the current economic hardship has forced some parents in Ghana to shirk their role in raising the future generation. She's asking parents to support teachers and other guardians to effectively train the kids.
A joyful song celebrating a decade of selfless service to teaching and nurturing both young and old. This milestone of Cherryfield Montessori School gives joy to teachers, students, and parents. As part of activities to mark this year's anniversary, management of the Montessori School organized a fun and games activity aimed at revitalizing body, mind, soul for the years ahead. Jifa Janu is CEO of the Cherryfield Montessori School.
It's a big milestone that we have chalked, and it is just appropriate that we organize some few activities to mark the 10th anniversary. So this is one of the activities that we are organizing to mark the 10th anniversary, that is sports and games. So basically, we are organizing this thing to exercise ourselves and to mark the 10th anniversary of Cherryfield Montessori School.
As an early education specialist, Jifa Janu says she's observed with worry the tendency by most Ghanaian parents to shirk their parental responsibility in raising the future generation of the country, with hope that only teachers or foster parents will be responsible.
Parenting in Ghana now has become very difficult because of the economic hardship in the country. But notwithstanding that, we should also have time for our children because they are the future leaders. And if something goes wrong, the future will also go wrong. So we should try as much as possible to balance our work with our children. And then we have time for them. We should once a while take their bags, check what exactly is in the bag, what they watch on their phones. We are in a digital world now, and it's scary. It's very scary. If our children are watching some things, you become so worried. So we should try and make sure that we guide them in the gadgets they use. Other than that, we won't be training, or we will just be like pay and rent. We are just paying and we are renting, but we aren't parents, as in parents.
In spite of this, Jafar and her team at the Sheffield Montessori School have pledged to play their part in churning out excellent educational products to score their goal.
Let's cross over now to the Ministry of Information, where the Deputy Minister is addressing the press.
Deputy Minister for Information, members of the Governing Board of the Cyber Security Authority, Director General of the Cyber Security Authority, representatives from the Joint Cyber Security Committee, the representatives from Huawei, the Chief Executive Officer of the public advocacy within the cyberspace. I thank you for your attention. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation, Honorable Deputy Minister. On that note, I would like to invite the Director General, Cyber Security Authority, Dr. Albert Nchibuesiako, to give us a presentation of highlights on the National Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
The Honorable Deputy Minister for Information, who is our host, representing the Minister responsible for information, Honorable Kojo Ponkruma. We're grateful for having us here, Madam. Honorable Alma Puma, MP for Draben in the Ashanti region. The Deputy Minister for Communications, representing the Sector Minister, Honorable Eslo Uswekufu. My board members, Sir Kalsaki, Lawyer Adlid, Prof, we appreciate your participation in this. Our industry collaborators, Dr. Engineer Ken Ashigwe, we're grateful to have you here. Our partners from Huawei, and other industry collaborators, ISACA and others, we appreciate you. My colleague members with the Joint Cybersecurity Committee, Prof, I've seen you representing the NCA, which has been one of our closest and our supporters as well. Doc, Director of Counterterrorism, representing the National Security, Canel, and everyone else here. I've seen my colleagues from the Signals Bureau, management team members of the CSA. John, you're not late. Come and sit down. Here, you got a seat. All right? All right. You can't hide. I think you're one of the active collaborators supporting this process. Welcome. Everyone here, but most importantly, the media, who have supported this activity for the past couple of years. I think we've gathered here once again to communicate to Ghanaians about the need to raise our cyber security awareness. And we appreciate the time. This is Sunday. Some of you went to church. Others, because of this, you couldn't make it. And those who are also following us online and your television set, we're grateful that you have dedicated your time to join us to discuss cybersecurity, which is an important dimension of our digital society. as a sovereign republic. Again, good afternoon and welcome. Let me first thank the media for their continuing support, as I said earlier, in providing extensive coverage of our activities. I also wish to express my appreciation to our stakeholders in the cyberspace, some of whom are here with us today, for joining the CSA, an agency mandated to respond to Ghana's cybersecurity issues, to promote a safer digital Ghana for all of us. October is just a few days away, and that can only mean one thing for us. The National Cybersecurity Awareness Month is but very close. It is a period dedicated to awareness creation activities, educating and conscientizing organizations and the wider Ghanaian public on all the opportunities and threats that are inherent in our digital world, and to encourage a more secure usage of online resources. Again, the goal is for the safer digital Ghana. The global digitalization trends have changed the way businesses are conducted. Not just businesses, even individuals. Our culture has changed as the digital world has provided other opportunities. Of course, it has also provided an enabling environment for economic development. Recent statistics suggest that more than 62%, and that's close to about 5 billion, of the world's population have access to the internet. Madam, your ministry is doing so well. I think Ghana is one of those high-ups. The information I have here, I do believe NCO will confirm that, Prof. I think the penetration rate is in 2023 is more than 23 million. That's close to about 70%, and that is quite massive, out of which about 20% are actively on social media. So I think Ghana has, Ken, maybe you can elaborate that later on, but Ghana is contributing to this significant development as far as our digital development is concerned. Of course, by the interventions being implemented by government, but also the private sector and just individual citizens. A bit of history, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Deputy Minister of NASAM. I think this is not, Ghana is not the only country celebrating this awareness creation. A count conducted by my team at the CSA suggests that more than 22 countries globally are celebrating this in such organized scale as we have. Some of the countries are the United Kingdom, Australia, India, Germany, Japan, Spain, Italy. We have Saudi Arabia, Mozambique, Rwanda. So it's a global sort of celebration. US started earlier, and that was in 2004, and basically organized this awareness creation in the month of October. And that is where Ghana adopted the concepts. But other countries, I do remember, if you take the Saudis, they do that in November. So it is a global event, but most countries celebrate this in the month of October, as Ghana is doing. It is a global initiative aimed at raising awareness about cybersecurity and promoting best practices for our collective digital security. At the domestic level, this initiative started in 2016, but it was given a major boost in 2017 when we had a certain president, Nana Dankwa, the current president of the Republic, actually leading the process. And equally, in 2018, the president led the process again 2 consecutive times, which is still a record on the African continent, having a certain president giving support to such a development that seeks to educate Ghanaians about our digital security. Indeed, we've also had the vice president himself launching the awareness creation effort that is being celebrated with NASAM. Each year has been distinctive with relevant themes So, for example, in 2017, the theme for the event was Securing Ghana's Digital Journey. That was a success, and I think we had many of you being part of that process. In 2018, we had another session with the team, A Safer Digital Ghana, that was celebrated not just by government, but also in collaboration with private sector partners as well. In 2019, the team was demonstrating Ghana's cybersecurity readiness, and we had to work closely with our international partners in this particular one. Of course, 2020 was a particular year for all of us. COVID-19 came into being. So the theme for that event was cybersecurity in the era of COVID-19. And we used the opportunity to educate the public to protect themselves whilst they were exercising their activities virtually. In 2021, the narrative shifted to a comprehensive examination of security. The law giving the legal mandate for the work we do in the cybersecurity area was passed by the 7th Parliament in December, in later part of 2020. And therefore, the theme that was crafted for 2021 was Ghana Cybersecurity Act 2020, its implication and the role of stakeholders, which I believe was also a success. To further deepen stakeholder participation in cybersecurity awareness, we crafted this theme for 2020 event, Regulating Cybersecurity, a public-private sector collaborative approach. That also gave the unique perspective of how the authority seeks to regulate cybersecurity activities pursuant to the mandates provided in Act 1038. A few statistics here to support our current effort in raising awareness. I think my minister earlier mentioned about Ghana being ranked the 4th in Africa with a score of more than 50% as far as our progress we're making in connectivity is concerned. But that same report is complemented by another report in which Ghana scores 86.69 in online security, a key dimension of the index. Of course, drawing inspiration from the ITU's Global Cybersecurity Index. I've mentioned earlier about the current state of our internet penetration. In 2023, what I have here is about 23.05 million, representing 68.2% of our total population. Out of this 6.6 million, and that's close to 20% are active social media users, contributing to the countries being the 13th rank on the list of countries that spend considerable amount of time on the internet. Now, a bit of history again. How does this whole idea also come up? I must say the cybersecurity awareness, we didn't just join the global celebration. There was a research conducted in the early part of 2018, a research conducted by the Global Cybersecurity Capacity Center, a center sitting within the University of Oxford and supported by the World Bank. This assessment examined Ghana's cyberspace across several dimensions. Society was one of them, and our awareness of cyber risks was a major consideration in the assessment. Ghana scored very low. The lowest score in the assessment was our awareness creation. But as a nation, we're doing well. We're actively using social media. We're actively using digital platforms. We are actively pursuing digitalization drive both in government and the private sector. But in terms of our awareness of the dangers, the inherent risks that we face, either by the children, by the public, by business, by governments, the level of expectation is quite at the very minimal. So The report also captured inadequate security measures for government e-services. And we've seen this a lot in terms of the happenings by way of cyber attacks targeted. Following.
So you heard that the Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority, Dr. Albert Entry-Buesiako, addressing the media on this year's National Cybersecurity Awareness Month slated for October this year. And that's the end of Joy Newsroom with me, Beverly Broom. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. Up next is the law. Please stay